Let's start with Detroit. The Motor City has officially gone bust.
Back to Detroit now, the biggest U.S. municipal bankruptcy in history.
As you may know, the Detroit public school system is a shambles.
Owing more than $18 billion in debt, Motor City officially filed for bankruptcy just moments ago.
Detroit is on its knees. Recently, council staff have been forced to stay home without pay, another attempt to cut costs by a city close to bankruptcy.
It's a disgrace before God.
How to handle Detroit's crushing debt is causing division among council members. It wasn't always like this. Last century, Detroit was the backbone of America's car industry. 2 million lived and worked here. But the steady decline of manufacturing jobs and the housing crisis hit hard. Now the city's population is just 700,000 and it can't afford to pay its bills. At least 1,000 people, maybe as many as 2,300, will lose their jobs by the end of February, no matter what happens between now and then. And union leaders say many of those job cuts could come from the transport sector. More than 300,000 people a day ride on the buses which connect the city to the middle-class suburbs.
The people behind me are the ones going to be most affected, including myself. I may be one of the people that's affected by one of the budget cuts.
I'm a student, I go to school, I work, I rely on the bus.
The auto industry has been the backbone to a lot of people's lives in Detroit. I think people have sent their kids to school off of auto workers' employment. I myself am going to school and finishing my career through being affiliated with the auto industry. Well, I hope that my children get a chance to see how vital the industry is. They already understand that it has helped them manage going to school, eating, surviving, period. So it's a very important thing to maintain.
Well, the economy is kind of bad, and a lot of people is in the same predicament that I'm in, but things do happen. People are capable of falling down and getting back up. So Michigan was the big three, Ford, Chevrolet, and Chrysler. And they all kind of had their ups and downs, but they're picking back up little by little.
I got a question for you. What does this city know about luxury? Huh? What does a town that's been to hell and back know about the finer things in life? Well, I'll tell you, more than most. You see, it's the hottest fires that make the hardest steel. Add hard work and conviction, and the know-how that runs generations deep in every last one of us. That's who we are. That's our story. Now, it's probably not the one you've been reading in papers, the one being written by folks who've never even been here and don't know what we're capable of. Because when it comes to luxury, it's as much about where it's from as who it's for. Now, we're from America, but this isn't New York City, or the Windy City, or Sin City, and we're certainly no one's Emerald City.
This is the Motor City, and this is what we do.
Finally tonight, Americans can thank Detroit for a lot. The city was the economic engine of our country and the war effort before hard times came to town. But because Detroit is good at making things, that's exactly the opportunity some new businesses see now. Our report tonight from NBC's John Yang.
A ping pong table, beanbag chairs, screens full of computer code. It looks like Silicon Valley, but it's the Motor City. High-tech startups in a building as old as the Model T. Jacob Cohen helps run a venture capital firm.
In the 2 years we've been doing it, it's been incredible.
Nathan Lebed and Jay Gierak grew up in the Detroit suburbs.
For independent professionals,
Last fall, they moved their website, Stick.com, from San Francisco, seeing better opportunities for growth.
There's a ton of talent here. There's not a lot of web companies like us competing for their services.
Entrepreneurs are also applying new technology to the city's mainstay industry. Like the electric car, a company called Detroit Electric hopes to begin making in Detroit this summer.
This city has a rich history of quality manufacturing and design. And these days, it's not just automakers who are boasting that their product is made in Detroit.
In the building where GM engineers designed the first Corvette, a new company with an old name. In the 1940s, Shinola was a shoe polish. Now it's high-end bikes and wristwatches. They could help remake Detroit's economy. They're already remaking the lives of workers. Shinola's advertising campaign features Willie Holly, who was once a security guard in the building. Now he's the assembly line leader.
It means that I can actually explore that option of having a family, supporting them.
5 years ago, assembly line worker Lakishka Raybon lost her auto industry job to automation.
I don't think a machine can do what we do. I mean, it takes, machine don't have passion.
A passion to do the painstaking work of building watches and rebuilding a city. John Yang, NBC News, Detroit.
You know, ironically, we're coming out of this bankruptcy here, the largest municipal bankruptcy ever, and people would think, well, the city's in bankruptcy, the last shoe fell. There was nothing lower that could happen, nothing worse that could kind of go wrong.
That was the old Detroit, and this is the new. Today, business is on the rebound, and prominent Detroit-based investors like Dan Gilbert, CEO of Quicken Loans, which has more than 100 companies under its umbrella, are stepping up.
When I think of Detroit, I think of GM. I don't think of this Silicon Valley like office space that you have.
Yeah, there really is a technology center here that's growing every day. About 110 new technology companies probably in the last 3 years alone.
That intrigue has business flocking to a once deserted downtown Detroit. 4 years ago, when Gilbert moved his company's headquarters to the abandoned city, he brought 1,300 employees into buildings that were only 20% full. Fast forward to today, downtown office buildings are 95% occupied, and construction in the now chic downtown can't keep up with demand. High-rises are transforming left and right, as was once a crime-ridden ghost town is turning into a modern-day metropolitan gem. Billions of dollars have been invested, and Wall Street is paying attention to the revival.
It's not going to overcome the decades of sort of reputation that people, or the images that people seen in their minds. So the main thing I always try to get across to everybody, just get here. Just get people here for a couple hours. Don't tell them about it on the phone, or don't write about it. Until you're here and can feel it and see it, you're not going to understand how exciting the opportunity is.